Namaskar, Jai Shri Krishna. Complying text 13 and text 14 of chapter 5 Karma Yoga Action in Krishna's Consciousness of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Text 13. Sarva Karmani Manasa Sanya Syaste Sukham Vashi Navadvare Pure Dehi Naiva Puravanana Karayana. When the embodied living being controls his nature and mentally renounces all actions, he resides happily in the city of nine gates, the material body, neither working nor causing work to be done. The embodied soul lives in the city of nine gates. The activities of the body or the figurative city of body are conducted automatically by its particular modes of nature. The soul, although subjected himself to the conditions of the body, can be beyond those conditions if he so desires. Owing only to forgetfulness of his superior nature, he identifies with the material body and therefore suffers. By Krishna's consciousness, he can revive his real position and thus come out of his embodiment. Therefore, when one takes to Krishna's consciousness, one at once becomes completely aloof from bodily activities. In such a controlled life, in which his deliberations are changed, he lives happily within the city of nine gates. The nine gates are mentioned as follows. नवद्वारे पुरे देहि हामसो लेलायते बहिः वशी सर्वस्य लोकस्य स्थावरस्य चरस्य च. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is living within the body of a living entity, is the controller of all living entities all over the universe. The body consists of nine gates: 2 eyes, 2 nostrils, 2 ears, 1 mouth, the anus and the genitals. The living entity in his conditioned stage identifies himself with the body, but when he identifies himself with the Lord within himself, he becomes just as free as the Lord even while in the body. Shvetasvatara Upanishad 3.18. Therefore, a Krishna's conscious person is free from both the outer and inner activities of the material body. Text 14. Na kartrutvam na karmani लोकस्य सृजति प्रभुः न कर्मफलं समयोगं स्वभावस्तु प्रवर्तते. The embodied spirit, master of the city of his body, does not create activities, nor does he induce people to act, nor does he create the fruits of action. All this is enacted by the modes of material nature. The living entity, as will be explained in the 7th chapter, is one of the energies or natures of the Supreme Lord, but is distinct from matter, which is another feature called inferior of the Lord. Somehow the superior nature, the living entity, has been in contact with material nature since time immemorial. The temporary body or material dwelling place which he obtains is the cause of varieties of activities and their resultant reactions. Living in such a conditional atmosphere, one suffers the results of the activities of the body by identifying himself in ignorance with the body. It is ignorance acquired from time immemorial that is the cause of bodily sufferings and distress. As soon as the living entity becomes aloof from the activities of the body, he becomes free from the reactions as well. As long as he is in the city of the body, he appears to be the master of it, but actually he is neither its proprietor nor controller of its actions and reactions. He is simply in the midst of the material ocean, struggling for existence. The waves of the ocean are tossing him and he has no control over them. His best solution is to get out of the water by transcendental Krishna's consciousness. That alone will save him from all turmoil.